Joe, why are you running and what qualifications do you bring? I'm going to be very honest, I don't even know what you do for a living.
Well, that's understandable. Since I'm a retired teacher, I do nothing for a living. But as a former teacher, and my idea for running is because I've been to the court myself several times. Like I say 5 times I've been there. Never as a defendant, always as a plaintiff. I've won my case every time. And the main reason I'm running is so when other people go to court, they will be treated much more fairly. This job is more than just a matter of being a bookkeeper. As a math major, I can do the math, I can do the bookkeeping. Plus, I received a letter from the state, one office in the state that handles clerks of court. And they informed me that whoever wins this position will have to attend 240 hours of training. So they will prepare you to do it the way they want. And this position, there are 66 other clerks of court. So we're never on our own, we're never idle of ourselves. There are helpers, there's guidance, plus the staff does perform most of the work that needs to be done. I think I just need to continue with that and also work towards getting things working more smoothly. Thank you.
Okay, question for Amy. We have three branches of government, executive, legislative, and judicial. Where do you see the clerk's position fitting in there?
Under the judicial branch. I believe he's under, he as a constitutional officer is Chapter 28, which is under the judicial branch, Title 5. But there's, with all the functions that the clerk has to do, there's many other statutes, but the clerk himself is, I believe, under the judicial branch.
Just to follow up, Judy, you're responsible to the courts, or do you see yourself as a ministerial position?
It's a ministerial position that's outlined under Chapter 28 of the Florida statute.
Would you oversee, like, the county commission? In terms of financial?
No, this is more of the neutral position of the county's government system. He's a constitutional officer.
Amy, I'm going to follow up with that. I want to ask you how you would describe the clerk's oversight and relationship with the county Office of Management and Budget.
Well, the actual position, the Office of Management and Budget, is under the authority of the county administrator. Now, I know that they work very closely, give guidance and input, I believe, from the clerk. But the actual position of OMB, that falls under the county.
So have you done any research on the auditing capabilities of the clerk's office with regard to, for example, disbursement of monies, funding monies, grant monies that come into the county, specifically those monies that are otherwise generated and given out, for example, to nonprofits through the HSAP process? I'm interested in what you think the clerk's role is with regard to that.
I understand it's the clerk's role to audit those functions, those entities that receive money from the Board of County Commissioners. It's under the clerk's role as the county auditor. He does have the authority to audit those and to. Am I answering your question? Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what you know about that process and if you have any ideas for how that process, if you think it's a process that works, or if the oversight should change, the relationship between the administrator's office and the clerk's office should change in some way.
I actually was the clerk's county auditor years ago, and I believe, yes, it works fine the way it is. And his role, the neutral party, and being able to go in and audit these and bring up issues if there are any or not. Yeah.
This is a question for both candidates, and Joe, I'll begin with you, and it's a very specific question, and it has to do with transparency. if elected, when, and I am asking for a month and a year, if elected, when will pleadings and other court filings be available online?
The day after I take it, or as soon as possible. As whatever is within my power to get done early will be done. Plus an earlier forum, I had my small pad over here, which is camera, and I'm a big proponent of electronic filing, and forms all being available, and that's being implemented through the state. But remember again now, whatever happens here in Monroe County is not an isolated place or incident. It has to fall into line with everything else. We only have so much leeway as to what we could do. But it's my main purpose. In fact, ever since as soon as I filed office, I've been trying to meet with the current clerk of the court to put, let's say, an internship. Since I'm a retired person, my time is available. I want to live as much as I possibly can. Unfortunately, he has never responded to give me the inside dope, so I'll hit the ground running. But as soon as possible, I'm in favor of having that done.
Amy, same question.
I don't have a specific date that I can give you, but I can tell you that that would be my number one priority once it shouldn't be me that's elected the next clerk of court. I know the last time I looked, which was 2 weeks ago, Monroe County has filed with the state that we've only met 2 of the 5 mandated e-filing in the civil area. We've not even started, as I understand it, as far as what I can see on the state's website, the criminal side of it, felony. And there are deadlines. There's one in December, and then there's another one in the early spring. I do have some plans and ideas on how we can do that, but the one thing I need to do is, should I become elected, one needs to get in there and prioritize and really evaluate where we are and where we need to be, and then move the process forward. And I know that would be my number one priority should I be elected to the next clerk.
Just to follow up on Amy's question on the auditing, and this is for both of you, should the county clerk's office, as part of its audit function, have caught the iPhone scandal and even going back to the Little Keys Animal Shelter where money was found being misspent there?
If I may, it's easy to say that the clerk's office should have caught it. However, to be fair, the first line of defense were the people in that office, the folks at the Board of Ed and the places like that, county officers. Okay? Several people appear to have dropped the ball, the process was not working, so by the time we have gotten to the clerk's office, it's rather late in the process. When I worked with the California State College Education, they had a regular monthly report. We were tracking all devices. You had to turn in inventories. Everything was tracked much more closely. I went to the Board of Ed early on with other problems and tried to advise them on certain ideas to follow up on that. It was a very loose thing, so changes need to be made to watch out for this in the future. The clerk cannot be the first line of defense in something like this.
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
Following up on Amy's comments about auditing functions.
What's the question? Should the clerk have?
Well, should the clerk have, say, caught the iPhone scandal before it became, and same thing with the Middle Keys Animal Shelter where money was been misspent there as well?
In regards to any type of audit, there's a lot of things that go into doing an audit, and I can tell you that just in my current position that we have several techniques that we use that point out red flags, discrepancies, might just be minor errors that staff have made. Well, those red flags and techniques that we use allows then someone to go in and actually analyze certain transactions where we see these red flags. So I believe, I don't what processes were used. I know the iPhone and the iPad audit, they brought that to the county's attention, 2 years prior in 10. So it was only in 12, I believe, here recently that, the other things that were related to it came out. And fraud was actually, it appears to be involved. So, I think the clerk did their job the way they were supposed to and brought this to the attention. I know that if I'm elected clerk, I'm going to bring some other techniques that I use that I've actually learned because I'm a member of the Fraud Examiners Association. I'm also, a member of the Internal Auditors Association. There are techniques that could be used that pick up these things that would allow one to find these things a lot sooner than later.
Thank you, guys. We're out of time for the clerk's race.